About 4 years ago, I traveled to Portland, Maine and had a bowl of clam chowder that changed my life. Ever since, I've been trying to recreate that divine dish in an approachable manner. Like my white whale, I have searched and labored, and I think I've come darn close. But either way, these cheddar biscuits will have you on cloud 9 with one bite. Alright, let's begin with our biscuits. First thing, I highly recommend you grate your own sharp cheddar cheese. The pre-packaged, pre-shredded stuff is just inferior. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get a bowl here with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. We're going to add in there 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a tablespoon of baking powder. By the way, all the exact measurements and step-by-step directions are down below in the description, as well as on dishingoutEats.com. We're going to season that up with some salt and finally shake in a couple teaspoons of Old Bay seasoning. Our liquids here will be 1 cup of buttermilk, along with 8 tablespoons of melted butter. If you're not keeping track of 8 tablespoons, that's just 1 stick unsalted butter. Once you get all those ingredients in there, just give that a nice mix until it is homogenous and combined. And at this point, we are going to add 1 cup or 8 ounces of our grated cheddar cheese. I grated up about 12 ounces, leaving a little to put on top of the biscuits midway through baking. Once we fold in our cheese like so, we're going to need to retrieve a nice large baking tray and thoroughly oil or grease it so that these bad boys do not stick. I'm using a 1/4 cup measuring cup here to portion these out and then flattening them down so that they cook evenly. If you have a biscuit cutter or a cookie cutter, that would be even better, but beggars can't be choosers. Go ahead and space them out evenly on a baking sheet. They actually need a little more space than I gave them there. You'll see why in just a second. They're going to go into a 450 degree oven for about 12 to 15 minutes. Pull them out about halfway through and top them with that remaining cheddar cheese. This is totally optional, but I think it really gives them a nice presentation and no one ever complained about more cheese, right? Once they're done, they're going to look beautiful like that. Go ahead and put them on a plate, garnish them with some scallions, and serve them warm. They'll never be better than they are right now. A perfect pairing for these biscuits is, of course, our clam chowder, and that will begin with 5 to 6 strips of bacon that we're going to go ahead and cut into 1/2-inch lardons and get those into a large pot or Dutch oven over about medium heat. We want to render the fat out of this bacon, giving us some nice bacon bits. So while in between breaks of stirring the bacon, we're going to cut up some celery, carrot, and onion, about 1/2 cup of each. Once your bacon is nice and crisp, go ahead and evacuate it from the pot, set it aside to drain and cool, and you should have about 3 tablespoons of bacon fat in that pan. That's perfect. Go ahead and add in those vegetables that we just super speedy chopped, and we're going to cook those out for about 6 to 7 minutes until they are soft and translucent. Once at that point, we're going to add in a couple of teaspoons of garlic powder. You could certainly use fresh garlic if you wanted to as well. I was just fresh out. And a couple teaspoons of dried thyme. Furthermore, we're going to add in 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and give this a nice stir to cook out those spices and raw flour. Once there's no more white flour visible, we're going to add in 1 cup of milk. You can use skim or low fat here. We're going to add some fat at the end. We also want to add in 1 cup of a good quality vegetable stock. Go ahead and give that a stir, stirring constantly, scraping the bottom of the pan to get up any kind of fond that might have been down there, and bring it to a simmer. Our last vegetal addition here is going to be in the form of some Yukon Gold potatoes. Give those a nice dice and add them to your chowder. At this point, we just need to cook these potatoes through, so give them a simmer for about 12 to 14 minutes until they're fork tender, and of course we want to season this with salt and pepper to taste. Once those potatoes are nice and soft, your other vegetables should be cooked through as well. It's time to go ahead and put our finishing moves on this chowder, which of course needs some clams. I've got 2 6.5 ounce cans of chopped clams with their clam juice. That's really going to bring us a nice bright, briny acidity to this. And for extra richness, we're going to finish off with a cup of 1/2 and 1/2. You could use heavy cream as well, but I think 1/2 and 1/2 is plenty rich for this dish. Go ahead and bring that to a simmer. Give everything a nice mix, and once it's warm, you are ready to serve. Now this is a pretty rich dish, so I'm going to put it in a pretty small bowl here to kind of portion control myself. But we definitely need to garnish it with some crispy bacon, and it wouldn't be a dishing out dish without some finely sliced green onions, right? There you go. Now, I'll admit it's a little warm outside, and sometimes the thought of eating a hot bowl of chowder is not always on your mind some April or May, but you really should give this a try. In fact, if you don't try anything else in this video, these cheddar scallion biscuits are absolutely mind-blowing. I know you might have had them at a little chain restaurant somewhere, and those are pretty good, I grant you, but these are a next-level adventure. This chowder, I mean, it's just super comforting. It's rich. Those potatoes give it a nice creaminess. The half and half, of course, gives it plenty of creaminess. That fresh clam juice right at the end really just brightens all the flavors up, and I mean the smoky bacon, I mean, again, no one's ever complained about bacon, right? I hope you'll give this dish a try. If you like it, let me know down below. Give me a thumbs up, drop a comment, and if you haven't already subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Anyways, I've got a little work to do here, so I'll see y'all in the next video. Get out of here and go make something delicious.